All right, welcome to Franchise Time Machine. We had a pretty good stream last night, checking out how the player creation engine is working. It's it continues with something like that informally. Um, I think it was P Boom and I were doing on Discord during PT25, but I wanted to do it a little more formally and actually run some pivot tables on stuff. We were just kind of eyeballing it, looking at like how many, like how what were the highest highs and the lowest lows, and how many were like 80 or above at the time. Now I think now that we can pivot stuff, um, we're learning quite a bit more about what the player creation engine is giving us. So I thought we'd continue that. Last night I thought when I did the pack giveaway form, I thought we'd get to infielders and outfielders too. But just doing starting pitchers, relievers, and closers took almost 4 hours. So today I think we'll just look at outfielders, and so we'll do the pack giveaway form for that. Some pretty surprising findings. The percentage of left-handers. Yes, it was like me trying to do all of my PTCS rosters in one night. I did not know what I was getting into. Even the PTCS thing took me several cycles to realize. I did a few all nighters where I was like, okay, that's it. No more stream before doing rosters. The rosters will be done on in the stream. All right, so let me get. We'll start with last night's form. I think there are some questions that we can keep that we had to skip last night. So let me make a copy of that. But once I figured out like how to do it and how to do pivots in um, Google Sheets, because I learned how to do all that stuff in Excel, and it's not exactly the same. And all like the tricks and shortcuts I know that make things a lot faster, I don't know how to do. So we'll do outfielders today. All right, let me change the title of the form, and then I'll put it up in the sheet. Hey, Tom, all I do is win. Good seeing you again. Yeah, I had a pretty good Sunday. Hope everyone had a good Easter for those of you who do celebrate. Our girls took turns hiding eggs for each other in the backyard, so that was a lot of fun. Not real eggs. We're not millionaires. These are plastic eggs. Half of them we didn't even fill with candy because they just wanted to get out there and do it. So they took turns hiding them for each other. It was a lot of fun. And then they had Easter baskets, and then my mother-in-law hits. She always sends them lots of packages. I don't. We've had to buy them very few articles of clothing because my wife's mother sends them stuff all the time, which is great. And every holiday, they each get a box from grandma, so they don't ever have to fight over anything. And so they got to unpack the boxes they got from grandma. So yeah, it was a good day. But yeah, how was yours? And that goes for everyone in the chat. Hope you had a good either Sunday or Easter Sunday, depending on what you observe. Okay, so now the title's updated, so I'll put this up in the chat and then or in the stream, and then we'll edit this as we go. Okay, same as last night. We'll be generating players in batches of 8,000, and we will be pivoting them. Dino, good seeing you too. Welcome in. Welcome in. Tonight we will be focusing on outfielders. And then I think I don't know. Doing all the infielders might be tough. Maybe we do middle infielders on Monday, which is more of a chill night. We don't have anyone rating in. We don't have anyone rating two. Um, and then maybe Tuesday when we tend to have a little more time because TJ raids into Ezra, so Ezra starts a little early, and then he finishes early, so we get to start early. We'll have a little more time. Maybe on Tuesday we'll do corner infielders and catchers. I think that there'll be a lot to dig into in the middle infielders. I think there are a lot of questions around how do their bats compare, how do their secondary fielding um, qualifications compare. So I think that'll be a good topic to dig into on Monday. We'll just do those two positions and dig a little deeper, I think. All right, as usual, closest answer wins. 7 packs for first place, 3 packs for second place. Nicolino is on vacation, so I've been sending him pack giveaway winners in batches, and I don't know when he might get to them. I'm going to send him the next batch. Usually I send them on a Sunday, so he can do them whenever he has time to. I've just been trying to be conscious of they've been busy with launch, but now that Go is out, I'm assuming I can just start sending them more regularly. But he's on vacation, so you may not get your packs for a little while. So please be patient. But I think starting this week is when I'll start sending them. Maybe not daily because I still don't want to bug him, but maybe I'll send a batch on Wednesday when I'm off, and I'll send a batch on Friday, and then maybe I'll send a batch on Sunday. So then the most you have to wait is like a couple days. We have been doing the new tie breaking style, which is it's Survivor style through the yes or no or multiple choice questions, and then when we get to the quantitative questions, it's whoever gets the most right. And it's been a lot of fun, so I think we're gonna stick with that. And again, I'm going to give you the details of the setup. We're not going to be simming anything, but in case any of these settings impact player generation, I'm just going to give you the information here. All right, login ID. Okay, we're not going to do infielders today, so let's delete this question. Oh, this might be interesting though. Maybe we'll see some. Maybe I should have kept that other one. Hold on, let's do this again. Which legend level outfield positions? Will have the highest average mean? Should we do median or mean? Oh, how about this? We'll have the most players out of 8,000 with power rating 75 or greater, 80 or greater. Left field, center field, right field. Now, it might just be a difference of one. It might be a difference of 100 players. I don't know. But which one's going to have the most players with power 80 or higher. I'm assuming we'll have, if no one has power 80 or higher, which I doubt, then this will just be, we'll just skip this question. Which of the Legend of the Outfield position will have the most players with defensive rating at their primary position of 70 or greater? Right, so if it's a left fielder, it's their left field rating. If it's center fielder, it's their center field rating. Okay, so which one's gonna have the most power? Let's ask. I wonder if the star distribution will be different. Okay, which one will have the most with the 5-star rating? What else do we care about? Power's a big one. Defense is a big one. Do we go kind of light on the multiple choice questions and then go a little deeper on the numerical questions? What else do we care about? I think the multiple position stuff I'm going to ask is a numerical question. Oh, here's a good one. Which of the legend level corner outfield positions will have the most players with a center field eligibility? With a center field defensive rating. That's good. Left field or right field? Do we think there'll be a difference in the proportion of players that bat left-handed by position? I don't think we would, but what else do we want to know? Fielding. For batting, we're using power. Overall rating. Defensive rating. I think that's enough. Let's go to some quantitative questions now. The proportion of pitchers throwing left-handed was really interesting last night. That was one of the most surprising things of last night's. If you weren't here, I recommend if you are considering playing Creator Roster or any of our player created games, you should check out the VOD from last night. You can just skip towards the end when we just start looking at the pivot tables. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so before we asked which position will have the most players with a defensive rating of 80 or greater. Now, one thing to remember, though, is the game treats left field as the easiest outfield position, right field as the second hardest defensive position, and center field as the hardest defensive position. So even if you think the game's going to generate better defenders in center field, the bar to be an 80. So let's make this 70 or greater. I'm going to make this 70. It's the same threshold we used for the power is 80. Okay, the power is 80. Oh, I did make defense 80, 70. Okay, I'm good with that, because 80 defense and center is actually kind of crazy. Okay. I think this will be how many out of 8,000 legends will have center field defense will have off scale. We'll have off scale center field defense. And that's 85 or higher. And then also, this is the last question. Tiebreakers. After this question, it goes to whoever gets the most right. Okay, how many Legend of Zelda have off-scale defense? I'm actually very interested in this. We had some off-scale shortstop defenses in the course of playing Creator Roster in OOTP25. I can't remember if we saw any in center field. So this will be interesting if we see any in OOTP26. What percentage of legend level left fielders? So defense was a big thing where the kind of what people started assuming was left fielders just don't generate with very good defense, and then right fielders generate with slightly better defense, and then center fielders generate with the best defense. But I think a lot of that was anecdotal, and I know I never got into testing it. I don't know if P-Boom did. But anyway, let's test tonight. What percentage of legend level left fielders will have left field, or will have a primary position defense rating of 70 or higher? Oh, so I figured you did your own testing in 25? That's how you came to that conclusion? Well, that's good then. I did seem supported by what we were seeing in the game, too. And then we'll do the same for center field. And then we'll do the same for right field. You know what? I want to add another question up here. We asked about power. Let's ask about contact. Maybe for people who are kind of new, we should put contact. And here we'll put power. Oh, these are questions that survived from last time. Let's see if we still use these. What will be the lowest center field defensive rating for a good level? Actually, we should ask this for legend level too. And then let's ask this for scrub. All right. What percentage of legend level left fielders will have a defensive rating for right field? And then what percentage of will have a defensive rating for center field? What percentage of legend level center fielders will have a defensive rating for left field? And then I'll be curious to see if this left field and right field percentage is different. Are we going to get any center fielders who get one but not the other? They get left field but not right field, or right field but not left field. Ezra Denny, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. We're continuing our series of spreadsheet streams. I did enjoy watching opening day of your 1986 Giants stream, Ezra. It's great to have you back doing play-by-play, and well, not even play-by-play. You're actually like playing the games, right? Like you're making all the decisions, like all the strategic decisions. You're not simming it and then like replaying you're managing it. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great seeing that again. And you made the point many times in previous saves that you get to know the team in such a different way when you do that, and so it's really cool seeing you doing that again. I had the same thing when I would always make the team of me and my friends and eventually take over the Mets. We would all start in the minor leagues, and I would watch the game, develop us, and then once we started getting to the majors, I would manage every game. and especially things like the injuries and stuff. They really they really hit in a different way when you're managing every game. So yeah, it's good seeing that again. The seventh inning stretch was pretty awesome. Um, Man, seeing those scoreboards, it's it's hard to imagine like how crazy that must have seemed at the time, like how advanced that must have seemed at the time. Lindor hit another rocket of a home run. Yeah, he's definitely starting off better than he has most seasons with the Mets. So it's good to see him heating up this early. So you remember the Diamond Vision scoreboard in the '80s for the Giants? Yeah, I can't even remember. Um, Probably because I never went to see any specific team frequently enough. But when it went from like graphics to actual images, like actual video, um, instead of like 8-bit graphics or however many bit graphics to actual video. When they can show replays, they showed cartoons. Yeah, because all that stuff happens like on such a continuum over time. Like it just happens before I notice it. It's really jarring when I see like old sports footage and the score overlays look so ancient compared to like what they do now. And there's like no scoreboard bug in the corner, right? So you have to wait until they show the score to know what's going on. And when they do show it, I don't know, it just looks like the fonts and everything just looks so old. And there's no graphics, it's just like the it's just the team names and the numbers. The physiques of the old, yeah, like, oh, that highlight of Mickey Mantle coming home after hitting that home run. I was like, wow, I don't remember Mickey Mantle looking that round, but I mean that's later in his career though, right? And he was such, even with his bad knees, he was such a um like such a physically gifted player. It's odd seeing him like that. So yeah, what we're doing tonight is we're preparing for the start of create a roster. Hopefully this coming week even maybe I'll do my test run. But we definitely noticed some changes in the player creation engine in OOTP26. So I started doing some testing last night, generating 8,000 players at a time at each level from legend down to scrub. Starting pitchers, relievers, and closers. And we now have a better sense, I think, of where kind of the tipping points are for when at different positions when the quality of the players maybe drops off. Although it is hard to tell though because we've noticed that the ratings seem a little bit harsher in OTB26, yet the performance doesn't seem that much lower. And so it remains to be seen how these ratings will actually translate into on-field performance. So even though we get a sense of like what the star ratings look like and what like things like stuff and control and for the batters contact and power might look like as you go down levels or you change positions, we don't know yet how that's going to translate into performance. But at least we'll have part of that equation after this next set of streams. So yeah, we're working the pack giveaway form. You just have to guess what the player generation is going to look like and win some packs. So this is a question. This set of questions around outfielders having kind of cross ratings with other positions. So the first is what percentage of left fielders have a rating for right field? You would think most. But then what percentage of left fielders will have rating for center field? Now we're going to ask this again for right field when we get to right field. And it'll be interesting to see if the left fielders with center field ability is different from the percentage of right fielders with center field ability. Likewise, I'm kind of curious to see center fielders who can play left field. I assume that number is going to be the same as center fielders who can play right field. If you can add one, I don't know why you wouldn't have the other, but maybe it will be different. Who knows? And then what percentage of legend level right fielders will have a left field defensive rating? And then what percentage of right fielders have a center field defensive rating? And this is a stuff question from last night. Another pitching question from last night. Okay, so what else do we want to know? We want to know if there's differences in contact and in power. I think this will be it for now. We'll look for other stuff, but these will be the ones we'll ask questions about. Link to form for tonight's 10-pack giveaway. Good luck, everybody. All right, so let's go to the base game. Oh, I am still alive in live silver. Let me take a peek in there first before. Take a little quick peek in there. We're more than 4 hours in, so that's a pretty decent run. Okay, we're in the quarterfinal. Tied 1-1 with the Yakima Apple Sox. Davey Digi 420. We're playing Davey Digi 420 on April 20th, so it might be their day. It might be their day. Let's see how their path to this has been. They swept in the first round. They swept Boris Charlie's Lagos Lions in the first round. They won in 6 games against the Franconia Wolfpack. Now, maybe in our favor, it took them 7 games. They had to go the distance against Mortal Mago's Fairview Tigers. So they may, let's see, their lineup, they got a couple players who were tired, including their starting shortstop. But Xavier Edwards is a decent backup. And then their pitching staff, the bullpen's tired but not exhausted. They still have a few rested relievers. What was our path? Okay, we did get 1 day of rest after round 3. They did not. So hopefully that works in our favor. But we lost game 1. We won game 2. Who's on the mound for game 3? Francis. I actually like his card, but he's getting rocked here with a 5.40 ERA. Also, Heel not working out super well in the closer role. But fortunately, the stoppers usually take up most of the innings there, so that I'm okay with that. Maybe I'll switch Darvish and Heel. Darvish has a 0 ERA and pretty small sample size, but he has a good card too. I mean, Heel has the low control. That hasn't seemed to be an issue much this cycle, but I wonder if that's been biting him. The reason I like his card is he has great stuff and great PBABIP. Yeah, even with the 2.5 walks per nine, his WHIP is 0.95. Oh, his home runs per nine are 2.5 though. Wow. His AHRA is 74, which is not bad. Darvish isn't much better, so I think I'll just leave it. Yeah, 2.5 walks isn't bad, but 2.5 home runs per nine is pretty bad. So yeah, it's these 2 home runs that have bitten him, I think, in the 7 and third innings. But 74 HRA is not low. I mean, it's not great, but it's not low. So I'm gonna just chalk that up to bad luck, and we'll leave him in there. All right, let's go back here. Oh wait, I do want to see, is this a pack tournament or a Clubhouse Star tournament? Oh, it's packs. Shoot. That's one reason this team's been having a hard time getting Clubhouse Stars. I part of it is I used up a bunch of them getting gold packs early on for PT Live and for live missions, but yeah, it's I do, when I do well, it's usually in the live tournaments, and I guess they're not giving out Clubhouse Stars for those. So, all right, so we're just gonna use the same test save to keep cranking out our data. And we'll just go to all player creation happens in the GM manager actions, sign a free agent. And then in commission mode, you'll have this pull down menu, import historical players or create fictional. Have they added the, I'm kind of curious, have they added the 1 year option yet? Nope, not yet. I think they're testing it right now. I think they have it in the beta. But it'll be nice when we get that. All right, so let's start with some. Oh wait, I can't do this while the form's still open. I forgot. So let's see. When's our next ad break? 19 minutes. I mean, I could preemptively run ads now and let you all finish the form. Let's do that, because then I can generate players. Okay, yeah. Okay, if Don knows any indication with 4 questions to go, then I think 3-minute ad roll right now should be plenty for folks to finish up. So let's do that. All right, good luck, everybody. I will, let's see. Yeah, I could go use some water, and I'll be back in 3 minutes. Good luck, everybody. All right, I am back. Yes, I'm back and off mute. All right, these are interesting guesses. All right, is anyone about to hit submit? I can hold off on closing the form for a little bit here. Otherwise, I'm gonna close it in about in the time it takes me to mute and eat a chip and then unmute. It was so good I ate 2 chips while I was muted, which is extra time for everybody. All right, I did see another form come in, so I'm going to assume no one else is asking for more time in chat, so I'm going to go ahead and close the form. Good luck, everybody. All right, form is closed. Let's take a look at these guesses. There are 6 of you participating tonight. Thank you for joining in. All right. Which Legend of the Outfield position will have the most players with a contact rating of 80 or greater? No one likes center field for this one. It's no one likes right field for this. It's center field or left field. No one went right field for this one. But for power, no one likes center field. They went left field and right field. Interesting. Highest defensive rating, half of you went with center field, even though that is the harder position to defend. So that's interesting. I think I might have gone that way too, even though it is the harder position to defend. And by harder position to defend, I mean that whatever outfield ratings you have, if you give that player 200 experience, or just maximum experience in all 3 outfield positions, center field will always have the lowest rating because it's considered the most difficult position to defend by OOTP. But half of you, I would be in here too, I think. Half of you went with center field. Okay, which outfield position will have the most players with a 5-star rating? Center field. Again, half of the guesses center field. Right field has the second most. Which corner outfield position will have the most players with a center field defensive rating? And everyone went with right field. And then the rest are the numerical questions, so we'll go to those later. All right, well, let's start generating players. We'll start with the left fielders, I think. Average age, which is our default for creator roster, legend level. We'll do 8,000 of these. Okay, we have to switch our view, which we haven't had to do in a while. And it's our batter. Now we're going to have to create a special view for this because we also need to know we've got contact, we've got power, we've got their center field defense. We need their these are left fielders, right? Yeah. We need their center field and right field defense. So let's add that in. let's just do left, center, right. And let's move this to the end. Okay, mental note for next time. Do this before we populate with 8,000 players. It's taking longer to do it because it's populated with so many players. I think stealing... Did I move speed past stealing by mistake? I think I might have. There's usually not this lag between when you drag something when it actually... Okay, you can actually see the proportion. So far, it looks like every one of them has a right field rating. All right, so let's... let me make sure I remember how to do this right. And let me open the folder that has the import export. Sorry, I know this is off screen, but I'm trying to find the folders from last night. Okay, so whatever save game you're in when you're doing this, you just have to go to the import export folder. And that's where you can find... Now, I think I can delete all the ones I created previously because I have them now on in the Google Drive. So I'm going to delete these. Basically, so it's easier for me to find them tonight. Okay, so report right to CSV. So now that should appear in the folder I'm looking at right now. And it's not for some reason. Why is that not showing up? Create a roster. Let me do it again and let me see if let's see. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. What is SS FTM test? Oh shoot, I'm doing this in the wrong save. I'm doing this in the shopping spree save. Whoops. Alright, let's delete these players. Let's save this view though. Okay, so then we'll yeah, this is the wrong save. Okay. Let's load game. Create a roster generation test. That's what it is. Alright, now let's try this again. Left field, average age, legend level, 8,000. Alright, now if we do an export. Ah, there it is. Left field, legend, 8,000. Okay. Star level. Left field star, 8,000. Okay, and then we'll do left field, good, 8,000. Okay, let's delete these guys. Left field, average age, average level, 8,000. Star levels are dropping. I don't think it's as steep as it was in OOTP25 though. Bench level. Left field bench, 8,000. All right, and here come the scrubs. The scrubs in particular seem to be a lot more generous with the ratings this time around. At least in the pitchers, that was the case. We had no half-star pitchers. That was really shocking. Whereas like scrub level relievers were pretty much mostly half stars. So low ball is going to be very challenging this cycle, I think. Yeah, these are. I don't see. I mean, this. I guess this is a top. Oh, it's sorting by speed. I guess, which was not my intent, but I just sorted by position, so it's not sorting by any rating, any particular rating. I thought I saved this. Why does it have an asterisk? I don't think I changed it since then, but anyway. I hope I didn't, because otherwise, when I paste everything in, it's gonna be misaligned. I guess we'll find out shortly. Okay, so now this will be off screen for a second, but let me go to my Google Drive. You know what, to make it easier to find, I wanted to create a new folder, which is going to be creator roster outfield test data. Alright, so they are now in my Google Drive, so I can access them from spreadsheet. Okay, so let me share the spreadsheet with you. It has nothing in it right now. Okay, so first thing we have to do is let's import the legend level data. File import outfield test data left field legend. All right, now I'm going to create a so let me name this left field legend. I'm going to create a left field data sheet, and then we need headers from somewhere, so we're going to take the headers from this sheet. And we're going to paste them here. Because this is where we're going to put the level, and this is where we're going to put the overall truncated. The level, we're going to number it so it keeps it in order in the pivot table. And this is so that we can remove the stars word from the overall rating. Left. The string is here. We want the first 3 characters. Okay. So now When I control down, we get all that. And we're ready for the next batch. Left field star level. Import. Left field star. I'm sure there are easier ways to do this, but in fact, I did wonder about appending it, but having to add those two columns made it seem like that might be difficult. So I'm just going to keep doing it the way I've been doing it. It's worked, even if it's not pretty or the most efficient, it's working. So okay, this is 2 star. And oops. I'm just going to copy this down here and then copy those down, and we are set. Left fielder, good. Import left field, good. Good. Oops, did that wrong. Drag that down, copy that down. There we go. Okay, now we need left field average. Import data, left field average. Nope. Okay. I was thinking the other day, if I were still trying to do this on that laptop I was using to stream that kept cutting out audio and stuff, how bad would this have crashed that laptop? Alright, 4 is average. And we'll copy this cell down here. We'll go to the bottom, highlight the 2 columns, go up to the last text, and then copy down. You have to add cells. Yeah, Google Sheets has been working pretty well for considering it's free. I've been able to pretty much get to do everything I've wanted to. I've had to learn how to do stuff that I knew how to do in Excel, and some stuff I still don't know how to do. Bench level, but for the most part, considering it's free, it's doing everything I've needed it to do so far. All right, bench level. The kind of cap on rows and then having to manually add more rows each time is a little annoying, but I don't know if it'll be annoying enough that I'll want to pay for a Microsoft Office license for streaming. Oops. I forgot to do this. This is 5 bench. And then I need to copy this cell down. Then I need to go to the bottom of the sheet. Highlight these 2 columns. Drag this down. All right, last level to add in here. Left field scrubs. Everyone's favorite level, the scrubs. The scrubs, I'm telling you, they do not look... It's almost as if in OOTP25, you pick what level you're creating into, and we always choose Major League. But we always said that the scrub level players are definitely like sub-Major League level players, right? You don't have a shortstop hitting 084 for Smiley Face Jane in the majors. If they did, they would be sent down immediately and be replaced. And it almost seems like is in recognition of that, and that we have checked Major League Baseball as the destination. That's okay. Those players don't exist in MLB, so we're not going to have any half-star or one-star players, because those are players who would top out in like Double A or A ball, which I think for realism is good. It's just going to have to change how we play low ball, or at least change our expectations for low ball. But again, I might be jumping ahead. We need to see how this set of test runs goes. But as far as the pitchers, starting pitchers, relievers, closers, no half-star pitchers, no one-star pitchers. Okay, so let's do our first pivot of the night. Let's do a star rating pivot. Oh, we do have a half star. Oh, look at that. We have worse players in the field than we did in pitching. That's kind of the opposite of what happened in OOTP25. Interesting. Again, I'm going to hard code. Do not do what I do. Do not hard code in your spreadsheets, please. It's definitely not best practice. When I was a consultant, one of the most common things we had to teach our new consultants was do not hard code in your models. It will almost always come back to bite you. Wow, look at this. 91.5% 5 stars at legend level. This is a much tighter grouping than we saw even for the starting pitchers last night. I'm going to go back and take a peek at the starting pitcher pivot. Yeah, starting pitchers were 74% 5 star, 19% 4.5 star, 6% 4 star. This is straight up almost all 5 star left fielders at legend level. Very different. Very interesting, though. I like it. It's telling us stuff. All right. Let's do... Now, how are we going to do... Well, let's do the ones I know how to do first. Let's do the power and contact. And again, we could have just made these you know, filters on the same pivot, but I like having them on separate tabs so we can flip through them very quickly and flip back and forth without having to repivot. It's not efficient, but this is more optimized for the stream. All right, so the column again is going to be the level. The rows will be, let's do contact first. And the values will be contact by count, not sum. Okay, we don't have any, oh, we do have a little bit of bimodal distribution here like we did with stuff in control last night. There's a little bit of a peak here at 85, and then another peak at 65. At the star level, there's a peak, well, no, this is just a longer tail, but there's definitely a peak here. And then at good level, there's definitely a peak here at 80. And then it drops back off, and then you have another peak here between 60 and 65. Same thing here, a little bimodal distribution on average with a peak at 80. That's interesting. I'm guessing too, when you have a legend level player with a 45 contact, this is like a power eye guy. But yeah, we do still have some off-scale contact. But this distribution, you know, we haven't gone back to check this against OOTP25, but I bet this is a lower shifted distribution than we saw in OOTP25. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that here. No, not dollars. Sorry, percentage. Okay. Yeah, even across levels, there's like an artificial cap here at 70, 65 or 70. That is interesting. We'll have to see how these compare position by position. You know what? I wonder to compare. If I should be putting everything in one giant data file and add left field to this one. I do think we're going to want that, right? The good thing is, since I caught it now, I can come back here. I can insert. Let's insert a column to the left. Call it position. These are all left fielders. All right, I think that'll work. I don't think I think it's like a 1,000,000 cell limit, so we shouldn't bump into that. So we're going to pivot everything out of this one single data pool. And I'm going to rename it outfield data instead of left field data. All right, so now let's generate let's do right field next. We'll save center field for last. Okay, right fielders, legend level. 8,000 of you. Alright, I mean, just from the first screen, I'm seeing a lot more center fields here than I saw for left fielders. It is just one screen's worth, but it does seem to be more. Alright, this will be right field, legend. Oh, so much better since I realized I should start with the positions last night. Positioned level file name is going much better. Alright, let's delete these. And let's generate our right fielders at the star level, average age. Seeing a lot of 5-stars still. Oh, you know, we didn't do the power pivot for the left fielders. Let's go back and take a look at that. Level. The rows are power. And the values are power. Count. Well, this is really interesting. We do have some 20 power guys, but they're the star level. Then there are none at good, average, and bench until you get back to the scrubs. And then not only is this bimodal, there's a big gap here for 60 and 55 power. And then there's 50, 45, and 40. That's really interesting. What is this? Why are we getting a 0 data point here? Sorry, it's just a little annoying. Oh, you know what? I also didn't name my pivots. Let me name those. Okay, this is left field stars. This is left field contact. And this is left field power. This is really interesting. And look how flat the distribution of power is at the star level. You have most of your players at 80 and 75 at the legend level, but then it's really squished down at the star level. I mean, to me, this means if you're looking for power hitters, you better grab them at the legend level. The problem is the star ratings for starting pitchers drop way faster than they did in OOTP25. So that means you're also then, if you grab all power at legend level because you want to make sure you get 80 power guys, you're not going to get any 5-star pitchers. So this might end up making Create Roster very interesting. I'm not sure why it's reading an extra 0 here, but power goes up to 95. At least, who knows? Maybe if we did more samples, maybe we would have gone higher, but this is wild. I don't know about power. We saw defense go above 95 in OOTP 25, but not yet in 26. But yeah, this is 7.6% off scale power. But at star level, you can still get 5.8% off scale power. But it's a roll of the dice because your chance of getting 80 power is much lower. But yeah, you can still get off scale power at star level. 1% at good level. You have to get some mighty lucky RNG, but alright, now let's see how we can do the position coverage here. Let's see. I think we still want our columns to be levels. And I think our value is... I mean, you're going to have left field rating because these are left fielders. So the question is, do you have center field rating? And do you have right field rating? Oh, wait, no. I want them to be rows. Center... Center field rating. Right field rating. Oh, it's not going to lay it out the way I was hoping. Oh, it's not because I don't want count. I want count if. But they don't have count if on here. Because I don't want the rating. I just want whether... Okay, so then we need to add a field. I can solve this. First of all, let's freeze the top row here. That's ridiculous. Okay. So, are they center field eligible? And are they right field eligible? Okay, this is an Excel formula, so let's see if this works in... If this is blank, then blank. Otherwise, 1. No, that did not work. Is there a formula to detect like a number or an integer? that just rounds down to the integer. How about, is there a number formula? No. Is, oh yeah, okay, is there is number? Ah, yes, is number. Oh wait, I need to put an argument in here probably, right? If is number, yes, value of true is 1, otherwise blank. No, why didn't that work? Why did that not work? Is number. Oh, okay. I made it an if statement. I don't think I need the if statement. I think it's is number. Is that a number? If it is. No, maybe I do need the if statement. Maybe I messed up the if statement. If is number. If that is a number. Oh, I didn't close it probably. Then 1, otherwise blank. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, now we're going to copy that over. Oh, shoot, I did that wrong. No, it's not going to let me do it. Okay, I'll have to do it. So, oh no, what did I do? Did I do that wrong? No, I did that right. Oh no, hey, it worked. It did it. It did it. Awesome. Yay. Okay, now I can pivot. Let's get, this pivot's wrong. Let's get rid of this pivot. You know what? If I'm dumping everything in here, I need a left field column too. Because this has to work for every outfield position. So let's just put left field eligible. Of course, it'll be a 1 for all the left fielders, but okay, I'm gonna have to drag it. Okay, so it's all highlighted. I thought Control L would drag it to the left, but it did not do that. I'll have to just manually drag it over. These should all be 1s. Yes, okay, good. Okay, so now I can just pivot around this. Oh, is that my Twitch description, Don Vado? Okay, thanks for letting me know. I will try to correct that if I can remember after the stream. Okay, so let's see. Columns are still the levels. Oh, shoot. The rows now are center field eligible and right field eligible. So there we go. Wait, why isn't this working? It's sort of working. This should look like the left right. I don't know why it's you know, when we did the relief pictures, when we did left right, it was very clean. I don't know why this is looking so messy. Hmm. What if I take these away? See, but I don't want them. Wait. Make this a count. But I don't want them side by side. I want them. Also, this can't be right. There, I don't think. Are they? Are there 7? Are all but 2 left fielders also right field eligible? And I know 8,000 aren't center field eligible. Oh, it says count A. That's why. I want count. And count. It's still not the way I want it presented, though. I don't know why it's doing it that way. Oh, this is of the center field eligible. This is interesting. Which ones are also right field eligible? And I think this is both then. Maybe. I don't know. Well, that. Oh, because I have no one left in values. That's why. Yeah, so what this is saying is of the legend level, 836 are center and right field eligible. 7,162 are just right field eligible. So that means there are 2 left fielders that are only left field eligible. And at the star level, there are none that are just left field eligible. But as you get down lower, at average level, you have 60 that are only left field eligible. And when you get down to scrub, you have almost 3,000 that are only left field. That's pretty interesting, that the proportion of left field only increases, but it doesn't start increasing until you get to average level. And even then, it's slight. At bench and scrub is where you're really going to see it. I just wish this presentation would be not so messy, but I now I see why, though, because it's trying to show center field and right field, just right field. Interestingly, I think this means there are no cases where it's left and center without right. Because you only have 1 1 and 0 1. You don't have 1 0. That's pretty cool. So that's the left field position view. Alright, so okay, now we did that. Now let's go back to generating right fielders. Alright, I've got files for Legend and Star. That might have been my good pool, but I couldn't trust it after so much. Oh wait, sorry, we're doing right fielders now. Right field. Average age, good level. 8,000. So that's especially interesting because I know, we're all looking for our backups for creator roster at those lower levels. But the likelihood of getting a left field that can play multiple positions is much lower as you go down. So it actually makes that problem worse. Hey, look at this. We've got the Abacassis brothers, Chris and Maximo. Oh, sorry. I'm not showing the game screen. I just generated my 8,000 good level right fielders, and the second and third players are Chris Abacassis and Maximo Abacassis. The Abacassis brothers. Now, I'm going to look up in BREF was there actually someone named Abacassis in the majors? Now, I'm not doing this on screen. I apologize, but I didn't want to have to find a window for BREF and a scene for BREF in OBS. Abacassis. No, there was no one named Abacassis in the majors. That's interesting, though. There are 2 of them in here. All right, let's write this report. This is right field, good level, 8,000 of these. Okay, let's delete them. Right field, average age, average level, 8,000 of these. Okay, then we go to bench level. Right field, average age, bench level, 8,000 of these. Very few center fielders now. I'm noticing that now that I've seen it. Right field bench, 8,000. All right, and then let's delete these guys and then do our scrubs. See, these scrubs are not that scrubby. 65 contact, 65 BABIP scrub. I would take that in OOTP25 any day. Oh, wait, I generated center fielders by mistake here. I hope I did not do that with the other ones. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But it's a field, so I should catch it. Right field. Average age. Scrub level. 8,000. There you go. The reason I caught that, way too many center field eligibilities. Alright, write that to the report. Okay, now let me drag these into our Google Drive folder for outfielders. And now I can start bringing them in. Maybe I should just go ahead and make my tabs right now. Right field legend. Oops. Right field star. Right field good. Right field average. Right field bench. And right field scrub. Okay, let's see if that goes faster. All right, right field legend. Import. Right field legend. Yeah, maybe I should just do all my importing in a row too. Maybe do this more assembly line style. Right field star. Okay, right field good. Import that. Right fielder Bobby Abreu. Was he on there? I still have that screen up. Let me see. I see Angel Mario Abreu. Oh, was it one of the sheets I just pulled in? Because I don't have that. Yeah, let me go look. Not on this one. Yeah, there he is. Legend level, Bobby Abreu. Nice. A bunch of Abreus here. Dave, Jesus, Ruben. Yep, that's lefty. Let's see. 50 contact, 80 BABIP, 90 power, off-scale power. Like that. I still like the Abacassis brothers, though. Chris and Maximo. Alright, average level. Bench level. It's funny what catches Smiley Face Jane's eye out of all things. Right field bench level. infield scrub level. All right, now let's see how well this goes. Bringing this stuff into that outfield data. Now we're taking everything from throwing over and down. And we're going to try to add that to the bottom of this sheet. Right here. Okay, we need, this is right field now. This is one legend. And we want to copy this formula. Okay. So far, so good. Now, do these formulas work? Well, it looks like they did. Nice. Okay, so now I come back over here. The next pace is going to be right here. Okay, so now we take our right field star level data. Copy that. Paste that in right here. This is, I feel like, the kind of stuff AI should be doing for us. Right field, 2 star. Copy this formula down. Okay, that worked. All the way to the right now. And we need these 3 columns. Drag down. Yes, it is working. Okay, back to the beginning. All right, that was star good level now. Okay. It's all working. I like it. Okay, next up is average. Oh, you know what I just realized? I've been copying over throwing handedness because that was my habit from the pitchers. I should have been dragging over from the batting. But we're not doing batting. I mean, we could have, but we're not doing a batting analysis here. So when I do the infielders, though, we will make sure I grab the batting too, not just the throwing. This is just a habit I got into from doing the pitchers last night. Oh wait, I can't just drag this down because this is not. These are not good. These are average. Okay. Copy down. Yep. Add more rows, no problem. Okay, bench level. All right, one more and then we can do more pivoting. I know everyone's excited to see more pivoting. And here come the scrubs. Let's get the scrubs in here. Right field, 6 scrub. Copy this formula. Jump down to the bottom. Oops. Highlight these 3 columns. Drag the formulas down. Jump over to the right. Highlight these 3 columns. Go to the top of that section and then drag those down. Okay. Now, there are left and right fielders in here. To do a right fielder analysis, so now we need to add a filter in our pivot, which at least in Microsoft would be, we would add a level filter, a position filter, sorry. And we would just do, oh yeah, there we go. Just do the right fielders. Columns are still levels. Oh god, this is so touchy. I keep clicking it once and it keeps thinking I'm clicking it twice. Level. And the rows are going to be, let's do star level first. Whoa, what happened there? Count. Why did it zero out? That's really weird. Oh, it's supposed to be count A? Oh, interesting. Wait a second. So in Google Sheets, what's the difference between count and count A? Looking it out right now. Count A. Count versus count A. All right. Count only counts cells containing numeric values, while count A counts any cell that isn't blank. Count should have worked though, right? Because it's only numeric values. That's very odd. Anyway. Again, like with the left field, a huge proportion of the legend levels are just 5-star. Very different from the starting pitchers. and the other pitchers. Now this is noteworthy, right? Because if you look at where the median is, it's 5.0. It's still 5.0 at star, but then it drops to 4.0. Then you get a big drop to 2.5 for average. So it seems like your position players you're going to want to grab before the average round, at least your starters. But the drop is not as steep as it used to be. You're going to bottom out at a median of 1.5. You're also going to get some 1 stars and a very occasional half star. But there is more of a floor this time around, it looks like. But yeah, this big drop from 3.75 ish, 3.8 ish maybe, down here to 2.75 ish maybe, I don't know, for the median, 2.6 ish maybe. That's a pretty big drop here from good to average. So this is right field stars. Let me go to left field stars again to see if that same pattern holds. Yeah, there's a big drop from good to average here too. Yeah, it's pretty consistent. All right, now let's look at right field contact. So, geez, so touchy. Filter for position, right field only. Geez, still doing it. Columns are the levels. The rows are contact, and the values are contact. And we want to count. See, this time it didn't zero out. That's really weird. Okay, well, you still have 4.5 above scale. How does that compare to left field contact? Left field contact 4.7 above scale, so similar. Left field contact 32.3 at 6.5 or 65 and 20. So basically 32 at 6.5 and 28 at 60. Similar, 33 and 26. So that doesn't look that different. Let's look at power now. We'll filter by position, just right fielders. Jeez, it keeps doing that. Columns. Come on. It's one mouse click. All right, level. The rows are power. The values are power, count. Same bimodal distribution stuff we saw with the left fielders. Right field might have more off-scale power now that I look at it. But let's go by percentages here, and then we'll compare. Or I mean, they're all based on a basis of 8,000, so we could just look at the totals too. So this has, well, the percentages are a little easier to deal with. 8.6% off-scale power. Left field power off-scale was... Wait, what happened here? Did I mess up my... Oh, I see. The scale shifted. Because of the right fielders. Okay, so these should be good now. Okay, so they had 8.7 off scale. And the right fielders had, a less. Slightly less, 7.6. But as a percentage of 7.6, 8.7 is significantly higher. Which is interesting because I think the hypotheses most people had in OOTP25 was that the right fielders are going to generate better batters. I could be mistaken though. But that's what I thought the conversations were. What I should do is put bar graphs and overlay them so we can see how different they are. Or, what if we do this? How messy does it get if we pivot them together? Oh, I think it'll get messy. Because I think I would want... Or maybe not. If we filter around level, just legends, and then the columns are positions, the rows are still power, and the values are still power. Yeah, so these are pretty similar. Now, left field has twice as many 95 power, but right field has more 85 and 90 power. They don't look... It looks like RNG differences, really, except for maybe the 95 power. Because that is almost 2x. But it's a pretty small sample. Okay, well, anyway, doing them all off of the same master data sheet worked pretty well. And in fact, hopefully we can just slot in center field here and update this when we do the center field data. So let's do that. Let's generate our center fielders now. I'm sure some of you who are spreadsheet experts are like just laughing at my spreadsheet ineptitude. All right, center fielders, average age, legend level, 8,000 of these. Look at this. On the first screen, every center fielder can play left and right field, too. That is interesting to me. Okay, let's write that report. Center field, legend. Center field. Star. Still every outfield position. It was Smiley Face Jane who told us if we went under 8,000 and however many players, we could still use the report writing function, right? It wasn't working when I was trying to do 10,000. Smiley Face Jane, did you know that number by trial and error, or did you find that somewhere? Because that was a super helpful bit of information you gave us. And also, are you streaming tonight? You did trial and error? Okay, well, thank you for doing that. That was super helpful. I really appreciate that. In hindsight, it was like, it made all these streams possible, because I wouldn't have thought to try a different number, because I didn't think it would be, I didn't think it would change by going lower, so thank you for doing that. Although I guess I should have suspected it, because that scroll thing pops up. Or you lose the scroll bar when you go above a certain number of cards, right? Smiley Face Jane figured that one out too. Okay, I think that was good level. I hope that was good level. Was that good level? I think that was good level. All right. Center field. Average age. Average level. 8,000. Okay, I'm still seeing full fielding capabilities. Okay, so this should be average level. Okay, Smiley Face is not streaming, but if you are new to the game, even if you're not new to the game, if you're not already following Smiley Face Jane without the 2, highly recommend, follow, watch. No better way to learn how to get better at Perfect Team than watching one of the best Perfect Team players around build rosters, do drafts. All right, that was average. Now we'll do our bench. You don't. Tomato doesn't even stream though. Tomato, I hope the scheduling where you're able to hang out in our stream again once in a while will allow you to play some creator roster this cycle. Also, Tomato Sandoval is still in the streamer team for OOTP26. Still one of the best names going. Tomato Sandoval. So the streamer team is a sim I set up in OTP25. It's worked much better in 26 because I asked a bunch of affiliate OTP affiliate streamers and then a bunch of our late night community, including Talkmado, including Smiley Face Jane, who is your favorite Major League Baseball player? Now, some of them didn't get their first choice because I went to the affiliates first. Also, I chose first. But most people, I think, did get their first choice. And I changed the first name to be their username, and the last name is the original. So I'm Franchise Griffey Jr. We have Smiley Face Wills for Maury Wills, and Talkmado Sandoval, which is one of my favorite names on the streamer team. You ended up choosing kind of late, and I think a lot of your top choices were pretty popular. but but we brought everyone in as the 18-year-old version of their favorite player. And unfortunately, in OTP25, that ended up being a lot of players getting very weird profiles because they didn't have profiles in the game at that age yet. OOTP26 has handled that beautifully, much better. Everyone had a real looking profile and is progressing through the minors much more like you would expect them to. So whatever OOTP fixed was really good. So now we're I think the next time we sim that it'll be season year 3. So everyone will be in their 20-year-old season. And the first handful of players are getting ready to hit the majors, so that'll be fun. Okay, so these are center fielders, scrub level. $8,000 of those. Okay, even at the scrub level, I'm seeing every outfield position on the first screen here. Does anyone remember in OTP 25, did anyone get a legend level center fielder that was center field only? Or any center fielder, frankly, that was center field only. Okay, so let's import these into my Google Drive. And even though Talkmado didn't get choice number 1, did get best name. Yeah, so Talkmado, I think they're doing super promotions based on, I guess it's your card set, which I'm worried that my theme team is going to get caught up in that. Because I have a bunch of cards I can't play, but if I'm going to get promoted based on that, I'm just going to get crushed in whatever, league I end up in. Underdog used Clubhouse Stars from winning Low Diamond. Did you win the Low Diamond World Series? That's awesome if you did. Congrats. You just got 3 perfect packs to upgrade for High Diamond. Pulled Atlee, Hammaker, and Nomar. Georgia Tech legend Nomar. Awesome. Oh, super promotion is if you win 110 plus. Okay, thank you, Smiley. So it's not based on your card set then. I thought I had seen somewhere someone from OTP saying it was going to be based on card set to keep people from sandbagging their card sets. So it only happens at certain levels. Not sure which ones. Okay. Well, I made my Hooked on Streamer Phonics team eligible, and now it's been demoted twice in a row. the names I've saved from last cycle that I carried over have not hit the game yet. And the names I have picked up either have iron or bronze cards, or I don't have the card yet. So, that team will take a little while to turn around. Oh, Tommy, you like Low Diamond Phillips' name? I like that name too. Every time I heard any streamer say Low Diamond, my brain would just add Phillips to the end. Oh, that's funny. You knew the team before you knew that it was mine. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll create our sheets for this. Finding me, the outfield experiment is going pretty well. So far, no huge revelations yet, like we had with the pitchers. Although we are still seeing that it looks like the bottom layer of the scrubs have been cut out of the game, which I think for realism is good. For create a roster, I think it's good. Low ball is going to be very different though. So I'm going to have to think about do we make some different rules for low ball this cycle, um, to try to keep those win totals low. There's a photo of Emo Phillips. That's amazing. Yeah, fine to me. I was thinking of making it like how we do 2 legend and 4 scrubs. I was thinking of making it like 2 and then 4 at every other level so that you can grab more scrubs. But so low ball is one I'm probably gonna have to test a few times on stream before I feel good about where it is. Now, I didn't think that before, but now that I've seen the data, um, I do think we're gonna have to do something. Okay, so I'm gonna make sheets here for center field, legend, center field, star, center field, good, center field, average, center field, bench, and center field, scrub. So far, the left and right field have looked pretty similar. All right, center field legend. Let's import that data. This is where I think we're going to start to see some differences. But my assumption might be wrong. Center field legend. What I don't know, what I have no idea, is how if the batting is going to look different from center to left to right. I do think the fielding will be different, but all right, let's just do all the imports again first. Star. Oh, I'm probably not showing it, am I? There we go. Good. Importing good level center fielders. Make sure these are all center field. Center fielder, center fielder, center fielder. Okay. Center fielder average. Yeah, so finally the answer. Oh, what happened here? Why was my average pull so low? Okay, I might have to redo that average pull. Let's see what bench looks like. that looks right. And then scrub. Okay, so why does this look so wrong? Average. There's only 14 here. Let me try importing it again. If not, I'll just regenerate the average. Yeah, there's only 14 in there. Okay. First, let's delete that from... Oh yeah, it's a much smaller file size too. Okay, let's regenerate 8,000 average. I wonder where I made the mistake. Did I only generate 14? I can't see myself typing 14 though instead of 8,000. That's not a typo that I think would come from 8,000, typing 14. Okay, let's write this report. Let me rename the file. The file sizes now looks like all the others, so it should work. Okay, so let's try that again. Center field average. Let's import. And it does give me the choice of replacing the sheet, so we'll replace this sheet. Okay, that looks right now. Okay. Now let's just add these to our master outfield file. Okay, now this is center field, legend, one legend, need that one. I'm so psyched to see the data, I can like barely keep it together to copy these in. I'm so psyched to see the pivot table. Alright, let's do center field star now. Copy this down. Center field good. Three good. Copy this down. Okay. Average. Okay. Bench. Oh, we're so close to being done. Cannot wait to see what this data looks like. Okay, definitely see the star values coming down. And scrub. Oh, look, a center fielder without right field. They just have left field. That's the first time I've seen that. All right, now. And what was this? This is. Oh, this is outfield power. Actually, can we update this? What does it go to now? 144. No, I want the whole thing. Can I just do that? There we go. No, it didn't do it. Oh, there we go. Yes, it did it. So in general, I will say it does not look like there's a significant difference in the power distribution at the legend level. The one difference is you've got a lot more 95 power in left field. But if you look at like off scale power, for example, well, I guess center field is 10% higher. A little less than 10%. 8% maybe. Still could be noise. but nothing glaring to me. There's no like obvious difference here. What if I copy this sheet? And I make this. Again, these are legendary players, but what if I make this for about contact now? Again, not seeing much difference here. So it looks like the bats are very similar. Left, center, and right. The bats don't look very different at all. What about the defensive ratings? Oh, I want this to be a rating at the primary position, though. We could do that. I just have to add a field. So the hard part is I only want to do this for left field first. So where does left field start and end? Oh, it should be at 48,000, right? There we go. So right here. For this group, it equals this. Control D copies it down, but I guess it doesn't copy it up. Why is this underlined? I don't want it underlined. Oh, you know what? No, here's what I can do. I can do equals this. Why is it underlining it? I don't understand that. Alright, anyway, I think I can go down to here and do Control D. Why is it underlined though? That's what I don't get. Format. Clear formatting. There we go. Okay, so now these are right fielders. So equals right field rating. Okay, not underlined. Perfect. Now let's go to the last right fielder. Okay, right here. Great. And now let's get center field. These are now center fielders, so we're just going to grab this rating. Go to the end, drag this down. Okay, now we have a primary defensive value we could use for this field now. So the rows are primary defensive rating, which we just created. And the values are also primary defensive rating. And should be the count. Well, this is interesting. Now, one thing you have to remember, though, a 50 in center field, that same player is going to be like a 65 or something in left field, or 70 even. But it's interesting that the distribution the right fielders tend to have better right field ratings than the left fielders have left field ratings, even though left field is an easier position to play. This is interesting. Okay, let's look at the center field ability to play other positions. I don't think, did we do this for right fielders? I don't think we did. Let's do that for right fielders first. So for right fielders, it's the ability to play by level. It's the ability to play left field and the ability to play center field. Okay, so at the legend level, something's different about this. There's no way everyone's eligible to play both. So what did I do wrong here? Let's see. Because these are right fielders, right? Yeah, these are right fielders. And are they eligible to play left? Do I need to do count A again? I don't think I should have to. Oh, looks like you do have to. I don't think that's right. Let me... Okay, let me see if I can interpret this now. Of the right fielders in Legend, though, I think this is saying 5,000 can play left. No, what is this saying? Because before we had 1-1 and we had 0-1. Because we had some left fielders who could play right and center, and some who could just play right. I don't know what's happening here. Let me put this next to the left field version of this. Where was that? Okay, so for the left field version, yeah, we had 1-1, which is you could play center and right, and you had 0-1, which is you could only play right. Wait, why did these now... Oh, I'm not filtering here. I need to add a filter to this. To make this left field... Ugh. Okay, so 836 left fielders can play left and can play center and right as well. And 7,162 of them can play left and right only. And apparently 2 can only play left field because they're not in 1-1 or 0-1. But when I try to do the same right field version of that, why am I only getting 1-1? Instead of 1-1 and 1-0. How did I set this up differently? These are right fielders. Did that help or make it worse? This makes it look like it's just looking at left fielders. Did I mislabel the field in the data? No, these have zeros where they're supposed to be. So the data looks alright. Am I pulling from the right data? Yeah, pulling. It goes to 144,000. These are right fielders. Who are either left or right center field eligible. Is this saying that there are no right fielders who are not left field eligible? Until you get the scrub and then there are 5 of them? I guess so. Okay, that must be it then. There are just so few of those cases. There's 5 across the whole thing. Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Of all the right fielders, 8,000 can play left field, and 5,003 can play center field. But when you get the scrub, that number who can play center field drops to 2,000 out of 8,000. And when you get the scrub, that's the only time you get right fielders who can't play left field. Okay, that works. Now if we make the same pivot for center fielders, and just make the right adjustments here. So we filter for center field. And then instead of center field eligible, we replace this with right field eligible. God dang it, come on. Right field eligible. And no, come on. There you go. Right field eligible. Okay, so. Oh, this still says sum. I want this to be count. Oh, it should be the same because I made the field one. Okay, all center fielders can play left and right at legend, star, good, and average. At bench level, you start to have a few hundred not able to play right field, but they can still play center. Oh, that's interesting. All right, now do I need to generate any new pivots to do the pack giveaway form? Let's give away some packs. Let me make a spreadsheet of the responses. Again, there are 6 of you tonight. So I don't think there were as many like big revelations here as there were last night on the pitching side. But it did confirm a few things, one of which is the bats don't appear to be that different from left center or right field. It's really just what fielding you get. Okay, so here are the survivor style section first. Which legend level outfits will have the most players with contact of 80 or greater? Okay, so that's outfield legend contact. Oh, I did the summing here, but it moved, so I have to redo this. Okay, by a very small margin, but it was left field. Left field had the most batters with contact of 80 or greater at the legend level. Smiley Face Jane, star, and late to hate. Interesting that no one gets right field. But it was by only by 5 out of 8,000 that left field beat out right field, and no one gets right field. I thought that's interesting. Okay. Which of the legend level outfits will have the most players with power of 80 or greater? Okay, these are still correct. So center field. No one gets center field at all. Across all 6 of you, no one gets center field would have the most power. Most 80 or higher power. There you go. Yeah, so no, everyone gets left or right field there. So the 3 of you still survive. Which 11 level? Thank you, Spyface Jane. Which level of outfield position will have the most players with a defensive rating in their primary position of 70 or greater? $70 or greater. Now, it's a bit of a twisty question, though, because left field is the easiest to play, also. But it is left field. And no one guessed left field, so everyone survived. Well, the 3 of you didn't guess left field. That's funny. Now, here's what's interesting, though. If I had made the threshold 75 or higher. Right? This is where you have these elite center fielders out here. Then it's center field. 75 or higher, it's center field. The hardest position has the most elite fielders, even though it's the hardest position to play, rating-wise. That's really interesting to me. It's a super small proportion, though. Small enough that you probably won't even see one in Creator Roster. Alright, so. Which Legend of the Outfield position will have the most players with a 5-star rating? I don't think I've done a collective one like this with star level, so let's do that. Okay, so we'll edit this and make it stars. Why is the first time always super sensitive? Don't take that out of context, please. And for values, star, overall, truncated, count. And we don't want any filters on here. Oh no, yeah, we do want legend only. That's right. Let me go back to the question. Of the legend level outfield, which legend outfield would have the most players with a 5-star rating? Okay. It is center field. It is center field. And everybody gets center field. All three of you are still alive. You did guess that one. All guessed that one. You're the only 3 who guessed that correctly, by the way. And you were also the 2 who got it right were not in this group. For left field. The last one, amazing. All right, you're gonna advance no matter what because everyone gets right field. All 6 of you gets right field for this. Of the legend level corner outfield positions, which will have the most players with a center field rating? So that we have to go to of the left fielders, 836 had center field. Of the right fielders, 5,003 had center field. So right field had much more center field rating. Everyone got that one right. You guys are better than I am. I don't know that I would have known that. Maybe I would have. All right, talk about a good night. We'll be playing games soon enough. I've already tested out the historic games, so those are ready to go for the most part. But Creator Roster, we're going to do these tests first, and then we'll have those up. But thanks for popping in. Great seeing you again. Okay, so now we're out of the Survivor style. We're going to the whoever gets the most answers right version. Whatever we're going to call that. Because 3 of you have made it to this point. You all guessed left field. You all were wrong for the second and third questions. You all guessed center field correctly and all guessed right field correctly. Okay, the first question is, how many legend level center fielders will have an off-scale defense? Off scale is 85 or higher. 4. Only 4. Smiley Face Jane with a guess of 5. Amazing. Next question. What percentage of legend level left fielders will have a primary defensive position rating of 70 or higher? That's the sum of 70 or higher divided by 8,000. 1.8%. 1.8%. Not close, but closest was Smiley Face Jane again with 5%. All right, what percentage of legend level center fielders would have primary position defensive rating of 70 or higher? Less than 1%. I think because is this formula right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So in that one, it's Star gets that one right at 12%. Still, everyone way overshot it, but Star is the closest there. Okay, what percentage of legend right fielder will have primary defense of 70 or better? So, oh, sorry, I meant to show this. I just put, so Star was the closest. So Spy Face Jane was right there, but then overshot for the center fielder. And then let's do the same for left fielder now. 1.3%. OOTP26 is a little stingier with the fielding ratings, I think. So Star gets that one right as well. Okay, what would be the lowest center field defensive rating for legend level? We have a 30. 130 rated center fielder at the legend level. That guy better be a good hitter. Star guessed 35. Wow, what a guess. I would never have thought that low. That's amazing. Oh, we didn't do scrub level. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's make a copy of this for scrub level. Okay, so we need to change the filter here from legend level to scrub level. Oh, a bunch of 20 rated center fielders at scrub level. So the lowest is 20. We do dip down to 20. In fact, not just dip down, we dive down into 20. So Late to Hate and Star get those. Thousands at 20. Not just one, but thousands at 20 at scrub level. What percentage of legend level left fielder, will have a defense rating for right field? So left fielders, all but two. All but two. The answer is all but two. So basically 99.9%. Star is the closest with 74%. Okay, what percentage of Legend of left fielders will have a defense rating for center field? That was 836 out of 8,000. So a little over 10%. 15% maybe? No, 13. No. What's 836 over 8,000? 11 10.5%. 10.45%. So Smiley Face Jane gets that one. All right, what percentage of legend level center fielders will have a defensive rating for left field? A 1,000 or 100%. And Smiley Face Jane got that one exactly right. All right, what percentage of legend level center fielders have a rating for right field? That is also 100%. Now that one fooled everybody, including Smiley Face Jane, but she is still the closest at 85%. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 5. Late to hate. I'm sorry, but I don't think you're gonna get packs tonight. But Star and Smiley Face Jane are in a dead heat now. Smiley Face Jane got the bookends. Star got 5 in a row in the middle there. What percentage of legend level right fielders will have a left field rating? Right fielders who are left field eligible is 8,000 out of 8,000. The meme answer of 69 is closest to 100. Star undershot it with 64. But it's basically every right fielder can play left field coming out of Creator roster. These coverage things have, I think, big implications now on how people might choose positions. But the bats aren't that different, so really you're just worried about coverage. All right, what percentage of legend level right fielders will have center field defensive rating? All right, so legend level 5,000 out of 8,000. 62.5%. Oh my goodness, playing spoiler. Playing spoiler, getting it almost exactly right is late to hate. Amazing. Amazing. Prevent Star from getting it right. And keep Smiley Face Jane in first place. Late to hate playing the late spoiler at the very end. And almost nailing it exactly, too. That's true, Smiley Face Jane. You would have gotten it anyway, but it's more fun watching Late to Hate snag that one. Alright, first place, Smiley Face Jane. Second place, Star. In a well-fought battle on the tiebreakers there. It was really interesting how that played out. Because even when Smiley Face Jane went up to 100% for that one question of What percentage of center fielders have a rating for left field? It was 100%. For right field, she then dropped down to 85%, almost undershot. If Star had, you know, Star would have had a chance there, but yeah, that's really interesting. But so I think there aren't so many implications on the effectiveness of these players as far as the batting. The batting looks very similar, right? From a control perspective, these don't look that different. Sorry, let me switch over. Right, contact. These contact distributions look almost identical. There's a little bit of difference here at the 70 level, but that could be noise. 65, 70 level. Is there a little bit of difference maybe? But they both have these peaks at 85 that are about the same. And then when you go to power, the only real anomaly here is there are a few more 95s, but then center field is a lot more 90s. And if you look at the above scale, center field has more. But if you look at the tippy top of the scale, left field has more. So I don't know. It just feels like noise to me, though. So I don't see enough here to say like you're going to get different bats if you generate a center fielder, right fielder, or left fielder. But you definitely get different fielding. And your center fielders can all play left and right. So like, do we just all generate center fielders from now on? That's a good question. We could look at that. Now again, though, we're only looking at the legend level. That's the other thing. These distributions may look different as we go down levels. Let's look at stealing instead of speed, because stealing I think has more functional benefit than just speed. Whoa, what happened here? Why did that break the spreadsheet or break the pivot? Well, I guess let's build it from scratch then. Oh, the filter is legend, right? We're looking at legends. The columns are positions. The rows are. Ugh. The rows are. God. Yeah. Ah, come on. Okay, I'm just gonna drag it over here. I'm so annoyed with you right now. The values are also stealing. Yeah, I mean the center fielders definitely have like left fielders have the least stealing or the lowest distribution of stealing. Right field is close to center field, but the median for center field is 10 points higher. Right, the median's here at 65. Or not the median, the mode. The mode is here at 65. The mode for right field is at 55. The mode for left field is at 20. So there's definitely a stealing difference. I wonder if there's an eye difference. No, eye looks pretty much the same. So all the offensive stealing, that was a good question though, Late. Like stealing looked different. Yeah, so range is definitely be better at center field because to have similar ratings as center field, to have a similar overall at center field, your the ratings under it have to be much higher. So for sure, outfield range for center field is gonna be way higher. There's no doubt because you need that to get to have the same overall rating. You need to have much higher underlying ratings. So that's a definite. Yeah, you see the mode here is at 60, but the median is probably somewhere between like 60 and 65. Yeah, but right field is closer to center field than I would have thought. But all this makes sense given that their overall defensive ratings, right, are similar. That means then left field has to have worse underlying ratings. Center field has to have better underlying ratings. But it looks like the player generation engine is managing to this, right, getting them similar. But to do that, it has to generate much higher ratings for range. That was a good question, though. And I'll still have these. If anyone has follow up questions for outfield, we can, address them. I think tomorrow night, let's do infield or middle infield. And there's plenty to dig into just at shortstop and second base. But for me, the really surprising takeaway is that the bats just are not that different. So basically, with center field, you're getting free defensive attributes for the same bat. So why wouldn't you just generate a bunch of center fielders? So maybe I have to put a cap on the number of center fielders, or like you have to generate a left fielder and a right fielder. Yeah, free stealing as well. That's right. There might be other stuff like bunting. There might be free bunting in there too. So yeah, I think we're learning a ton by doing these experiments. The pitching one was like the most informative, but this was interesting. All right, so let's put this up. Let's look for someone to raid into. Ophi's stream, but Ophi's usually wrapping up by now. Let me see what Ophi's doing. I would like to raid into Ophi though. Oh, hour and a half. Would definitely raid into Ophi. Oh, I ran to look see if anyone else is streaming OOTP26. Guess what? No one else is. All right, so we're gonna raid into Ophi and Stitch, one of our favorite destinations. Um, oh, good, yeah, Smyfishing and Lite. Glad you liked it. I had a good time doing it. I just worry that it's not very entertaining streaming. I don't get me wrong. I think the outcomes are very interesting and entertaining, but the whole me tra- generating files and then transferring them to Google Drive and then pasting them into Google Sheets. I was like, oh, but I have to do it anyway. I figure I might as well do it on stream. And I don't want it to be like PTCS roster building used to be, where I do it after I stream and then I pull an all nighter. So I do appreciate you guys putting up with the more boring parts of these streams to get to the insights at the end. Um, and of course, thank you to Ezra for the raid tonight. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're ready to raid. Let's raid in a. Now, Ophi just did a BRB. So maybe we'll just pause a minute here before we raid in. For those who are not familiar, my usual raid destinations are either, if there is a live sumo tournament, we almost always go to Midnight Sumo. Those are only like 4 or 5 times a year for 2 weeks at a time. So when they are live, we try to go into that. Midnight Sumo is a Canadian streamer who gives English commentary over Japanese sumo tournaments. I also do raid into Midnight Sumo when they do these fun. They have like collegiate sumo tournaments, and then they have high school, junior high school, and even elementary school sumo tournaments. So you have these like kids who are aspiring to be sumo wrestlers, like bumping into each other in the sumo ring. It's pretty fun. We also have a handful of music streamers that we raid into, and then some art streamers. And Ophi is one of the art streamers. One of my favorite destinations, just because of the chill, fun vibe on her stream and her chat. And when there's no one streaming OOTP or none of our OOTP community members streaming, then we usually raid into one of those streams. So tonight will be Ophi and Stitch. A pixel artist based in Taiwan, but she grew up in the US and streams in English and is always working on some sort of interesting art type project on the stream. But really, it's like the chat and the vibe that are the highlight there. So I'll be in there listening, lurking, and doing some drafts before going to bed. So hope to see you tomorrow night. I will be back on at 10. I think a couple more rounds of experiments, and then we'll be ready to roll out creator roster. So get your channel points ready.